Here are 12 book releases I am most excited for this month. Midnight in the Celestial is a debut YA dark fantasy, and this is perfect for fans of the Belladonna and Caraval trilogies. This follows a young woman who has the power to summon spirits. When she fails a magical trial and is deemed too dangerous for society, she ultimately ends up on this magical cruise ship where she has to serve a punishment sentence in an attempt to retake her trial and keep her magic. I will ditch my entire TBR for a Catherine Cowles book. I have now read 8 of her books, which does include an arc of her upcoming release, Across the Vanishing Sky. This is book 1 in her new Starlight Grove series, which is an interconnected romantic suspense. When police basically give up on the disappearance of her best friend, Bray will do anything to search for answers, which includes moving to the town that she vanished in. I love a beautiful book cover, so The Last Starborn Seer obviously caught my eye. This is a new epic romantic fantasy that is said to be perfect for readers who love intricate world building, elemental magic, and a grand journey with a slow burn love triangle romance. Sally Hart, the author of Quicksilver, is re-releasing Blood and Roses on March 10th. This was previously indie published, and this is a dark mafia romance where desire, morality, and danger collide. Queen of the Night Sky comes out March 17th, and this is the sequel to The Starlight Heir. Once this book comes out, this is a completed duology, so you can binge them both, and this is such a fun, fast-paced, why choose romantasy that is inspired by Indian and Persian mythology. Heir of Twisted Lies is the sequel to Broken Souls and Bones, and this is a dark fantasy romance duology. Broken Souls and Bones was one of my favorite reads of 2025. I cannot shut up about this book. It has such a unique magic system. It is super bingeable, and I love when the villain gets the girl. Aisha is an epic romantic fantasy with a heavy dose of feminine rage. It's said to be about Morocco's warrior goddess, and her anguish drove her towards so much rage that she became a succubus who enchants and eats her colonizers. Summoned to the Wilds is being re-released. This is the sequel to Throne in the Dark, which both of these books are part of a fantasy romance trilogy. If you like the satirical humor in The Princess Bride, I really think this trilogy will be your vibe. Cindervale is one of my most anticipated reads of the entire year. This is book 3 in the Sins of the Zodiac series, which is an action-packed dark fantasy romance with plenty of mystery and true enemies to lovers. I have high hopes for Between Tides and Thunder because of all the glowing early reader reviews. This is said to be a high-stakes fantasy romance with enemies to lovers, an arranged marriage, elemental magic, and warring kingdoms. Alex Astor, who is the author of the Lightlark Saga, is releasing her adult romantic fantasy debut called Starside. This is said to have enemies to lovers, dragons, swords that have magic, a deadly quest, and huge plot twists. Kensington is releasing a deluxe hardcover edition of Reign of Shadows and Endings, and I love this cover.